All right, all right, all right. And we are live. Yo, yo, yo. Tell me what you know. Welcome to the Sunshine Show. Woo! Y'all already know we're going to have a real good time tonight. I have such a special treat for you this evening, this morning, this afternoon, wherever in the world you may roam, because that's right, ladies and gentlemen, we're worldwide here on the Sunshine Show. I have the one and only, the most amazing, the most phenomenal, the most fabulous, the most Bowie of them all. I have White Owl of Butterbrain, all the way from New York City in the house. What's up, Aaron? How you doing?
What's going on, sunshine?
Hey, it's been a minute since the last time that we caught up, so I'm so excited to have you here again tonight.
I'm excited to be back. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. What have you been up to? What's the weather like over there?
Well, as you can see, I'm dressed cold. I'm trying to keep my I'm shaking a cold, so I'm trying to stay nice and toasty for all the upcoming stuff we got going on. Make sure I'm nice and sweaty and getting everything out, and I can't wait to get out of New York and go to Florida.
It's good to detox, it's good to detox, get it all out. You're giving me some
That's a fact.
What's the guy from Napoleon Dynamite? Oh, Pedro, when he shaves his head and then he just sits there with his like little hoodie on. And
that's right. I want to do a Pedro tonight.
Yeah, do a Pedro, boy. You gotta keep
I do have an unveiling later. I have a special a shirt that was gifted to me by a mutual friend of ours that I have to unleash.
Oh shit! You guys got to stick around for the ultimate reveal. White Owl's gonna get nudie for us tonight. Funny, see, after Doug, you'll already know how this works. So, what have you been up to today? Just kind of kicking it, or what?
Yeah, this whole week has been kind of chaotic. We released the Sapiosexual album on Valentine's Day a couple of weeks ago, and we have a record release party coming up here in New York City at the Bowery Electric on Saturday, March 4th. So we're looking forward to that. And then we got a little listening party going on, like pre-show with immediate friends, whoever wants to come, really. But and then the following week we go out to Florida for a show in Miami on March 10th, Friday, March 10th.
Oh, you're just going to go right into it. Okay, let's go. What else you got?
Well, since we're all on the Pedro mode and shit, am I allowed to curse here? I forgot.
Absolutely, you can fucking cuss. This is your show, baby. I'm just here for it, all right? You are I am the Napoleon Dynamite to your Pedro.
Let me get this Pedro shit off the...
I am the Napoleon Dynamite to your Pedro. Okay?
Oh, man, I love that. You are a special part. I've told you before, sunshine is what I use for inspiration in life. Even though it's cold out here in New York, I'm a sun. The sun is my god. I'm a sun child, so I'm a beach baby, and I love swimming, surfing, and I think I have my dad was from Long Beach, California, so I think I got a little bit of that Cali blood in me.
I think so. Do you know who the famous Brazilian bassist Junior Gruvador is? You do say yes.
Yes. Junior Gruvador.
Perfect. All right. He's one of my favorites. I absolutely love him. And when he came on the show, he actually said that we're the Sunsharians. And I love that. I was like, absolutely. I am your Sunsharian all day long, Junior Gruvador. All right, Don, that is your cue to tag Junior Gruvador there in the comment section. All right, guys, let's check out this chat really quick. We got some people here to hang out. We'll have many more funneling in. Make sure to share this feed. We got Paul Tar from Colorado. Paul, I love you so much. Thank you so much for your support. Please send your family all the love. We got Mama Cantu in the house, all the way from South Texas. What's that? Mama says the package is in the mail, Dawn. She loves you. Okay, so Aaron, you may not know, but Donovan, who you met previously before we went live, he actually lives in my basement. I have him locked down there with plenty of locks. And he has to stay down there and do all my social media. And if he doesn't, I get really upset. So mom's always trying to send him packages And Winston always gets the packages and eats all the food. So poor Donovan is left with like condiments and things like this. But just so you're caught up.
Is it a Pulp Fiction Gimp situation?
Well, we haven't gone that far yet, but I see Donovan shaking his head yes down there at backstage. All right. Let's see. First question's coming in from Mama Cantu. She wants to know, when did you start playing music?
At a very early age. My mom, I grew up with music in the household. My mom and dad were kind of like coffee house players, like not hippies, but like folk music, acoustic guitar, Bob Dylan type, players, and like semi-professionally. So they used to do like coffee house gigs. And so I grew up with a piano and a guitar in the house. And my mom forced me to take classical piano lessons at like 5 years old, which, I wouldn't say I hated, but what wasn't really my cup of tea, but it really gave me a backbone for playing other instruments later. I play a little bit of everything, but bass guitar is kind of where I found my niche. I know we meet on that one, and around the age of like 12, 11, 12, I had an older brother who was like 5 years older than me, and so I was taking classical piano lessons. We had a drum set in a small apartment in Queens, New York, and the neighbors made us, everybody was complaining. So my brother took up guitar, and he's like, we were starting to listen to metal and, Sabbath and Judas Priest, Iron Maiden.
Wait, don't they refer to that as the devil's music?
So did my mom. But it was new and exciting back then. Like, it's not as exciting hearing new metal nowadays. Well, maybe depends who it is, but it was exciting and sure as hell beat playing classical music. So my brother said, "Why don't you pick up a bass? We'll start a band," and the rest is history. It's all his fault.
Oh my goodness. So you and your brother started a band. Is that the first band that you were ever in?
Absolutely. And we that turned out to be transformed into White Trash, which was we ended up kind of blowing up locally and signed a major label deal with Elektra. We were kind of lumped in with like the hair metal bands of the late 80s.
Okay, as like examples, please.
Well, people compared us to like Fishbone and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That was the spawn of Butterbrain. That was really the Butterbrain kind of spawned from White Trash and contains a few of the original members of White Trash. And it was a funk rock band. We kind of were in that Faith No More, Red Hot Chili Pepper category, Fishbone category. We were a little bit genre-less, so we kind of got lost in the shuffle, and we signed a major label deal with Elektra Records. We had a promising career. We had like big time management, Q Prime Management, who manages Metallica and a bunch of other like big acts, and we signed with them and Elektra, which right before the Black album of Metallica came out. So our career got but our album started blowing up, and then Metallica came out. And we got thrown under the bottom of the pile.
I'm glad you did not say thrown under the bus. Thank you for not saying that. That would have been a very bad and distasteful joke, and it came straight to my head. And I'm sorry, everybody at home, about that one. Listen though, so how do you feel about Metallica? I mean, do you have a disdain for them?
I hate Metallica. I'm putting the hood back on.
Okay, Pedro, it's okay.
I never liked them to begin with, to be honest with you. I know that's against the norm, but I was more into like alternative, more alternative stuff, like in the 90s, like 80s, 90s era, and hip hop. I was kind of like a hip hop metal kid. Okay. So that was kind of where my niche was at. Like, grew up with both, and Metallica never really did it for me. If it's heavy music, I'll take Slayer like any day over Metallica. but you know, of course I respect them. But yes, I have extra disdain because they derailed the white trash career.
I mean, they literally fucked your whole you and your brother had a whole package deal. You know what though?
Yeah.
The best part about this is that you guys are just like, it's top secret, right? So unless they know, they don't know. So now everybody's gonna go look at white trash. We're gonna have a resurrection. It's all gonna come back to life. You know what I'm saying?
But we actually had a mini resurrection right before the pandemic. We got invited to do Monsters of Rock cruise with a bunch of like the B-level hair metal bands of like there were some great ones on there like Tesla, Extreme, Kix, who was one of my favorites. Who else was on there? There was a bunch, but like Tesla and Extreme were probably like the biggest names. So that was fun. And we did that right before the pandemic. Then the pandemic hit, and we haven't done much with white trash, but we have music sitting on the back burner that we do want to resurrect one of these days. I've been pretty busy with Butterbrain and some other projects, but white trash is really like, you know, that was the start of it all for me and some of the other members of Butterbrain.
Okay, so Mama Cantu wants to know, so does that mean you enjoy everything since Mama made you play the piano?
Like everything, like music wise or life wise?
Music and life wise, I'm sure it all goes hand in hand. White Owl.
She did give me a very broad taste for music. I grew up on the Beatles, as we shared last time. You know, still one of my favorite all-time bands. If you don't like the Beatles, I gotta, something's not right with you. We can't really vibe.
We don't normally judge here on the Sunshine Show, but when it comes to a Beatles fan, you know, you got to give me a really good reason why you don't like them, and even then, it doesn't make it right.
I agree. So yeah, the Beatles to me were like, you know, music for all the ages. They span time.
And you know what? Also, I don't mean to keep interrupting you, but one quick thing, since you brought up the damn Beatles, like, what other band could talk absolute nonsense? Half the shit you don't even know what they're singing about, and it's just so lovely.
Beautiful music, beautiful songwriting. I don't know if you got into the Get Back series, but did you see Get Back?
I don't. I feel very ashamed to say I haven't.
It's amazing. It's the making of the not Abbey Road, the Get Back, I think is the name of the album. Okay. And it culminates in like it's a 3-part like mega documentary made by Peter Jackson, the guy who did Game of Thrones and stuff, I believe. And it's just put together really well. It's long. Each episode is like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. It's 3 parts, but like for a real Beatles fan, time goes super fast watching it, because I'm like, I love, you know, you hear Paul writing like Get Back and you know, like some amazing hits that like he's in the background like doing, nobody's even like noticing that he's writing it. He's like, hey, I got a number. They pinholed themselves into writing the album. They got together in the studio, and it was supposed to culminate in this like mega concert, which was going to take place in like in Europe or something. It ended up being the show that they did on the rooftop. And so it was the behind the scenes of all that. George leaves the band, he comes back, Yoko's in the studio. It's like, it's amazing to watch like everything like you know, behind the scenes. And to tie it into like the Butterbrain stuff, it was absolutely an inspiration to the making of the Butterbrain album. I had just you know, I would never go there in the same realm as the Beatles, but I had just broken my hip, or got hip surgery. I was holed up, and 2 things really inspired me, like in making the album. And I kind of called the guys, and I was like, "We're going in next week to record." Like the song, we had been, you know, futzing around with some of the songs, and they were like 90% ready, but we just started rehearsing them. Like I watched that, and I was like, they could do it in whatever it was, like 21 days or 28 days. I was like, we got to go in and do it in 28 days. It's a year later with the albums coming out, but I was inspired by that, and I was also inspired by the Wu-Tang series.
Oh,
I don't know if you've seen the Wu-Tang Showtime series. I forget what it's called. But I was holed up, and I don't really get to watch too much like TV or movies these days or Netflix. But those two hit me, and I was like inspired. I was like, we're going in to do this, and life is short. Like you only got so many years on the planet. Mine are dwindling. Getting towards the back nine. So I was like, what are we waiting for? Let's just go in and knock this shit out.
Yeah.
And that culminated in this, the Butterbrain Sapiosexual album.
Oh my God. Okay. I want to take myself off the screen really quick because I want us to get a really good, clear shot of that. Now, while you're showing us that, tell me the concept behind the artwork and all the good stuff.
All right. Fair enough. So here's the CD. I don't know if you got a good look at it. It's the brain melting butter. Let me see. There we go. That's a little better. So this was done by Sally Mae, the singer in the band. She's been doing most of our artwork. And let's see, Sapiosexual. And for those that don't know, it was a weird title. We've been asked a lot about that. A lot of people are like, what's sapiosexual? Like, what's it's defined as someone that's attracted to intelligence, a person attracted to intelligence. So we felt like it meshed with the brain idea. The imagery was cool, and yes, that was all Sally. Sally's been doing a bunch of our artwork, t-shirt designs, and all bunch of stuff. She's actually been designing the vinyl we're doing with Angelo's Dr. Mad Vibe project. So she's really been busting her ass doing a lot for Butterbrain from art to creative wise, and she's kind of like my right hand woman in the project.
Very nice. We have the one and only Jeffro Pliskin of Raise Fist Propaganda.
And he's another one.
House. I mean, what do we have the pleasure of Mr. Jeffro Pliskin hanging out with us tonight? I just want to show you guys this amazing t-shirt I just received in the mail. Boom. I wish I could do an effect right now where I could like drop it, boom, and it like stayed on me, but that's not how it works in real time. But when I edit the video, I could do that. And yes, and another one, and one more too. Boom, boom, boom.
And Jeff also has made an amazing Butterbrain design for us too. It's a skull logo that we've been using and selling on t-shirts. So
I love that.
I love it too.
In particular, bro, I need a shirt of that graphic.
We got you.
Put it in the mail. All right, so I don't mean to rewind, but I'm going to in a second. Let's see. We got Gloria in the house. What's up, Gloria? How you doing? Thanks for hanging out with us. She says Sally is a queen, the queen bee. It sounds like you have a great team behind you, and it takes a great team to be a successful band, a successful business, a successful person, right? You need a good team, a good support system around you. So I'm glad to know that you have people within the band that can help you with graphics and help you, with just things, so it's not just all piled on you having to do everything yourself.
It's amazing. I have she's been great, and Mike Caldarella, the drummer from White Trash, that stuck with me for years. We've been making music together in different projects for years. We were in another band together on Elektra Records after White Trash called Hash, that also kind of got lost in the abyss. But he's been my right hand man. We kind of feed off each other, and he's also brings to the table a business side that I kind of lose on the creative side, and he's been instrumental in helping us with the website stuff. We launched a new Bandcamp page, and it was basically the three of us working as a team to like get all that shit done.
Very nice. Okay, so I wanted to rewind really quick, and I feel like we may have touched this the last time that we talked about the Beatles, but anytime somebody brings up the Beatles, yeah, it's like one of those keywords. In like Pee Wee Herman, when you have like the word of the day.
Yep.
Everybody has to go, ah!
You should do that. You should have that.
I'm going to start doing that. So what do we think about the conspiracy theory, Paul is dead? It was a huge conspiracy theory. For those that may not know what it is, could you explain it to the audience at home?
Wow.
Or do you want me to read the Wikipedia? Because I haven't.
No. I can handle this one for sure. Because I grew up with my brother playing the record backwards, Sgt. Pepper's backwards.
Really?
100 times. And then we went on to like listen to other records backwards, and then he went on to record shit backwards. So Paul is Dead inspired us in a lot of ways. I don't know if Chris Arbisi, our vocalist sax player, is on with us, but he would be the one to really tell you about this. But basically, the theory is that if you listen to number 9 on what I say, Sgt. Pepper, I guess it's the White Album, I think. Was it Sgt. Pepper?
Sgt. Pepper is the where they're all dressed up in the. Oh no! Wait, damn! Why are we doing this? Sgt. Pepper's when they're all dressed up.
So I think it's the White Album, but it's number 9 and Revolution number 9. It's called the number 9. And if you play it backwards, you could supposedly hear the words "Paul is dead, miss him, miss him." And then there's more to that. That there was a theory that he got into a car crash and he died at age 28, I believe. And that number comes up like in some other stuff. And then to go even further, the Abbey Road. I think he's the only one walking across the street with no shoes on, or with shoes on. I forget.
And dressed in black, and everybody else dressed in white. Yes. And like apparently they did like a look-alike contest, and they got like the winner of the look-alike contest because they just okay, so that's the theory, right? Is that they just could not tell the general public that he had died, right?
Yes. And I think I don't know where Billy Spears comes into it, but that was either like an alter ego or like that was the after Paul died, it was Billy Spears, but nobody know that Billy Shears, I forget what his name was.
Yes, dude, this is my shit.
Me too.
So White Owl, from Nighthawk to White Owl. Okay, let's talk about this. So I'm into conspiracy theories, but it could have just been a really good marketing ploy too, right?
Well, that's the big question that nobody ever knows. What was it? Was it real, or is everybody tripping, or was it another great Beatles marketing ploy? You know,
dude, the Beatles are legends. That's like so legendary. And
I mean, if they weren't cool enough, there's shit like that to go down the rabbit hole. You know, they're the original conspiracy theorists.
Dude, and then how about the album? And then we'll get off of the Beatles. But I mean, who doesn't want to talk about the Beatles?
It's all good.
So remember the album that they put out, and they had all the baby doll heads, and like it was like really graphic, and then they had to like pull it down and replace all the album artwork because I guess the record label or whoever didn't approve it. But now if you can find the record with like the baby heads and like the meat and all the shit, they're worth a lot of money.
You know, I should know this. I forget which one it is. If it's it can't be the White Album because the White Album's the White Album. Can't be Sgt. Pepper. I forget. You know what?
I'm looking it up right now, baby. I'm gonna put Wikipedia on us.
I'm curious now too, which one that was. Maybe it was part of Sgt. Pepper's.
Oh, here it is. All right, the Beatles Yesterday and Today.
Okay.
The Beatles Yesterday and Today. And if I could figure this out, I would pull it up. I wish I'd already had it saved, but I didn't know we were going to do this. But for everybody listening at home, if you're not aware with all the conspiracies and all the like madness behind the Beatles, like Yoko Ono's not the only craziness behind the Beatles, you know?
As a matter of fact, watching the documentary, most people, including me, have a much different view of Yoko Ono. She was pretty, you know, Paul was cool with her. Paul or Billy Shears, whoever it was cool with her. And she was pretty, you know, she's a little wacky, but she was cool in the studio. And so a lot. I don't want to give away the documentary too much, but in my opinion, a lot of the negativity was attributed to George.
Sure. All right, we got a comment here from Thaddeus. What's up, Thaddeus? Thanks for hanging out. He says, Is this your friend?
This is my neighbor who I just helped move today.
What? Oh my God, Aaron, my goodness, what a great neighbor you are. It's always such an extra bonus when you have nice neighbors and just a nice community. So
he's been a good neighbor to me. He comes to a lot of the Butterbrain shows, and it's the least I could do.
Oh, so he's saying labels don't know what to do with bands that they can't pigeonhole into a category.
Very true. And one of the reasons why I decided to put the Butterbrain album out without a label, we were shopping it for a minute. We had a couple of people, industry people like that liked what they heard, and I was excited about the songs in this album, like more excited than anything I've done in a while. And I shared it with some industry people that I've come connected with over the years, and they shopped it to a few labels. And the summer was about to peak. We had done the song with Angelo. We were just about to film a video with Angelo, and I was just itching to put it out. So against some people's advice, I said, fuck it. Maybe down the road we can go that route. But we have the song. We recorded the songs. We're doing the videos. Another thing we do in house is our music videos. So we're kind of like a creative force within ourselves, and that's a lot of what the Wu-Tang series inspired me for, was to do it ourselves. And you know what? Maybe down the road, I'm not opposed to working with a label, but nobody was really bringing anything to the table that like I felt we couldn't do for ourselves. And why give up control over what we were doing for someone unless it was like a good marriage. So I pulled the plug on it quick, and I was like, nah, let's put the shit out,
Sure. Absolutely. So if the opportunity did present itself with everything that you've already been through, would you sign to a label again?
Absolutely. If there was a purpose behind it, if they understood, if they really believed in what we were doing, and kind of let us, keep our creativity and keep some creative control, and most of our creative control. I turned down I was part of a group that turned down with White Trash a $500,000 record advance. Not many people know that with the second record, back when I was like 21 years old. So, I'm not scared to like, in some ways, a lot of people have asked me, is that like one of the stupidest decisions you ever made? Absolutely not. Like I can look in the mirror with pride. I wish we were able to get it together as a group, and that Metallica didn't suck our label and management attention away from us. So, but if my aunt, had balls, she'd be my uncle. So, it pretty much is what it is. And
wait, rewind, motherfucker. I've never heard that before. What if my auntie had balls and she'd be my uncle?
I mean, you can't live in the past or live with regrets, There's a lot of things in life I wish I could have done differently. And I get, I don't, if it was the right connection, absolutely. But I'm fine, steamrolling ahead, doing it, ourselves, I'm kind of proud of what I've accomplished musically. And I learned a lot from working in the punk rock world with, Murphy's Law for a long time, and my brother Danny Diablo with Scarhead. And there's a lot, sometimes like you can't wait for someone to like catch on to what you're doing. You got to create your own world, or your own momentum, and your own vibe. So, and then I believe, the rest will follow. So yeah, absolutely. If a label came to us and said, hey, we love what you're doing, we'll financially support that, and could broaden our audience, that'd be great. Because a lot of times doing it yourself, I'm not a marketing genius. I don't I wish we could reach a wider audience with what we're doing. I know the reaction we get to our immediate audience is great, but sometimes we are in this like underground genreless world, like Thaddeus said. but that's where God put me, so I'm cool with it.
I'm dying. I have been dying. I just went up, I was reading the comments, and my mama, she says, I was called white trash in the 60s, and I did walk the alleys looking for treasure. I feel like that is that is definitely a lyric to a beautiful song that my mom is writing right now.
Does she play too?
I will tell you, my mama is the one that got me into music. She plays the flute, but she was the main reason why I had to play the tuba, because she's like, don't bring home a damn saxophone, clarinet. And I was like, okay. And I wanted to play the drums, but apparently they're like, no, give the girl the tuba. So I came home with this huge ass fucking instrument that was impossible to carry, but it made me who I am today. So thank you, Mom, for always supporting me. She's been to every single one of my shows that she could possibly be at.
That's awesome.
In all of the recordings, who do you hear? My mom screaming, and at all of my podcasts, Mom shows up. And thank you, Mom. I love you so much from the bottom of my heart. I just think the absolute world of you. And it was her birthday on the 22nd. And
happy birthday, Mom.
This is the first show, so since her birthday, so we should sing happy birthday. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mama Cantu.
Mama Cantu.
Happy birthday
to you.
Yeah, baby. And many more, and many, many more. All right, guys, you're hanging out with your host, Sunny C of The Sunshine Show, and White Al of Butterbrain, former bassist of Murphy's Law. All right, we haven't really gotten too much into the history of Murphy's Law. Is that something we could talk about on this show, or is that for the next episode?
Sure. Murphy's Law is one of the OG original party punk rock groups from New York. Jimmy G is the original member, the singer, and he's had a history of Murphy's Law started in the early 80s, and I learned a lot from playing and touring with him. And he could be a handful. He's on full speed all the time, and I love him for it.
And we're not talking about smoke and speed. We're talking about the man probably has ADHD and a lot of energy.
He has definitely a lot of energy, and he's one of the best frontmen ever, in my opinion. And it was an honor to play with them for so long and record with them. I came in the middle stages at this point of the band, the late 90s, after White Trash, after the punk band Scarhead that I played with. And I was in the band till 2001, 2002, and I still do fill-in gigs to this day. I went to Japan with them, I think, it's 7, 8 years ago now. And then, I still fill in once in a while at Murphy's Law, and it's like family to me. And it's like a rite of passage in New York punk rock. There's literally been 100 different members in the groups, from some huge names like Todd Youth, God rest his soul, and just so many. Chuck Valley. It's a New York hardcore punk rock rite of passage to play at Murphy's Law, and it's connected a lot of people. And in some ways, it's connected me and Sally, the Butterbrain singer. We first met through Murphy's Law shows, and she was a punk rock girl at heart, and she was tugging at my sweatshirt for years, hey, I could sing, just so you know. And she saw Butterbrain perform live, and she saw that I was back doing Butterbrain, and she was like, I'm letting you know again, I could sing. And I was like, hey,
motherfucker, I've been hitting you up for 5 years now.
That's kind of what happened. And she was proactive, and I was like, all right, send me some shit. And we had a single on our EP that we put out in 2019 that needed we were looking for a girl singer, so I hit her up, and we vibed right away, and she went on to become a guest artist on the EP, to a full-time member, and then some, to doing the artwork, to being my right-hand woman, to like being a major part of Butterbrain. Creative force to writing a bunch of stuff on the new album, to singing. I purposely, the band purposely this time around looked to like get her involved on a lot of the vocals, because Butterbrain is like a weird entity. I sang, a couple of the horn players sang, and it was like me and a couple of the horn players doing most of the vocalizations. And then when Sally came in, she's no offense to the rest of the bunch, she's like the best of the bunch, and we kind of found our niche, and we kind of found like.
Once again, sorry to interrupt, but she is the woman of the band.
Yeah, we kind of found our missing ingredient. Like it was like, the steak was good, but we needed one, a little bit of spice. We needed the garlic spice on that. So she brought that
sauce, baby.
She brought the A1 sauce, and the steak never tasted better.
Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. So we have a question here from Mr. Pliskin, who obviously has been joining us. He joined us a bit late, but that's okay. Go. He's a busy man.
Before you ask anything, can I unveil now?
Oh my gosh, are you getting nudie on us? Let's go.
Let me hide my belly.
What do you got here?
A raised fish special. The 86 Mets. That's Lenny Dykstra, Doc Gooden, and Darryl Strawberry. And I saw this and I was like, Jeffro, I gotta have this, please. And here it is on the Sunshine Cantu show.
Oh,
I wear it with pride.
And it looks amazing on you.
Thank you.
Did the sleeves come pre-cut, baby, or did you do that yourself, or did your lady do it for you?
I actually did it myself. She's not a fan of me cutting the sleeves, but that's my stilo. I cut. I'm a sleeve cutter.
Oh, I love it.
I feel so much more comfortable like without the sleeves.
Hey, it looks good too. So you're all good. Okay, let's see. Jeffy says, did you guys talk butter vinyl dropping in May? I don't know. Actually, I don't think we did talk about that yet, have we?
Well, funny you should mention.
Funny you should ask.
Yeah. Is the test presses for what's going to be the Butterbrain featuring Angela Moore single with Angela Moore and Dr. Mad Vibe and the Missing Links on the other side. So we have a single coming out, with a split vinyl with Butterbrain and the Dr. Mad Vibe and the Missing Links, which are very, very excited about. Jeffro is the one responsible for making that happen. It's a Raised Fist production, and there's my production company, Gotham Gold. Let's see if I can get it out there in the background. So me and Jeffro, we work hard together. He's been amazing for the band. He really has. He's he really loves the band. Raised Fist.
We're like spokespeople over here. Jeff, we love you.
I know we're rocking all the gear. We love you, Jeff.
We are huge supporters of Raised Fist propaganda here at the Sunshine Show because Raised Fist does good things.
Yes, and you know what? He's about it. He's I appreciate his energy and his enthusiasm, and we've butted heads a couple of times, but it's like we're both like strong-willed people, and usually he's got a purpose he's got an end game in sight that sometimes that I don't see. He's actually really, really great marketer. He's got amazing vision, and I'm very proud that we've been working together. We've really been killing a lot of shit here in New York over the past year, from everything from the Angelo vinyl to like collaborations with live shows to putting on events. We played a show with HR from the Bad Brains last month that was killer. We've been doing a lot of good shit over here in New York.
And let me just say, if you ain't button heads with Jeffro, then are you even friends with him? Because that's like a rite of passage. All right.
And some people don't get that. Like in this business, it's like I went through all the big label, fucking big management shit, and the politics and bullshit at that level is so, vomiting your mouth sometimes. Yeah. That that I love doing shit independently, like DIY. However, you're still gonna have differences of opinion, butt heads with people you work with on that level. And me and Jeff, I think, are two guys that are do-it-yourself people, and we believe in what we're doing, and we stand up for what we're doing, and we also get like how there can sometimes be friction, but it's all working towards like a positive end game. And I've come to respect him a lot, man, over the last year. I'm very proud and honored for the shit we're accomplishing.
Well, and I'll just put this out there, and I think it's important for everybody in the industry who may be newcomers, even people that have been here for a long time. We learn as we grow and we experience things, but you have to like pick your battles. It's really not worth like fighting over like petty shit that like, shit could like bother you or upset you, but sometimes you just gotta like turn the other cheek and keep rocking and rolling, because everybody kind of has a vision and they want their vision to be the ultimate vision, but sometimes you just gotta rock and roll with shit, and that's always been my thing, is you've got to learn to pick your battles, and that's with life in general.
That definitely true. And that being said, I'd rather have someone be strong-willed about what they believe in and work with someone like that. Like Sally in the band could be like that very often, and I'll take that any day over someone that's disconnected or says they want to do it like this, but has no idea what they're talking about, or hasn't invested the time or energy or thought process into what's going on. So as long as you know what you're talking about and are not like all over the place, then I have no problem like stepping back and listening to what you have to say. It's part for me of, this is the first time like in a band where I've really been like, relied on as a band leader, and working with, longtime friends and people that I've played in and out of music with for my whole life. And I appreciate, I think they've seen a difference in me also, like stepping back. Because I could be strong-willed at times too, but sometimes it's as important to like step back and listen, and hear what other people have to say. It doesn't mean you're always going to agree, but you can't just, will yourself, my way or the highway. I mean, you can, but ultimately, I have a longer term vision for Butterbrain that if I did that, I would lose their respect and integrity, like right off the bat,
Yeah. Yes. And it's not about burning bridges in this industry. It's about building connections. So I'm just putting that out there. We have a question here from the one and only Daniel Bayanez, longtime listener and supporter of the Sunshine Show. Thank you, Daniel, for hanging out with me and White Owl tonight.
What's up?
He says, what's been your favorite country to tour in?
Wow. South America, I think.
Okay.
And it's not because I was doing a lot of drugs back then.
Yes, it was. Yes, it
was. That was maybe part of it, because the drugs are real cheap in South America. But
right when I'm taking a sip, thank you.
Sorry. I would say South America, Italy. I did some cool shows with Murphy's Law in Italy. Beautiful place, cool people, party people, great food. France stuck out to me as a beautiful place. I did some cool shows in France. A lot of times on tour, it's not as exciting as it's cracked up to be. You're looking at like a site. You're looking at the Eiffel Tower through the bus window. Ooh, Eiffel Tower. All right, see you later. And then you go into a club that looks like the same place you played in fucking England the night before, or it's all like then you play, then you spend, then you're sleeping, then you wake up. Oh, Parliament, Big Ben. It's like the vacation movie. Hey kids, Parliament, Big Ben. Hey.
or like the Griswold family vacation when you take
exactly. That's what tour life is like, going around in a circle. Parliament, Big Ben, Eiffel Tower. Great. Looks good from the tour bus. Well, not even tour bus. I should say tour van, which was mostly how I've done it. But
well, whatever works. And a tour van is a lot more easier to afford than a tour bus. Okay.
Very true. And yeah, I've never been on. I've never toured on a tour bus. I never had that luxury. The Europe tour I did with Murphy's Law was in like some kind of like bread truck. Like it was like a Mercedes truck, which is kind of cool, like a big truck. But it was spacious, so that was cool. But Italy, Medellin, Colombia stands out. Beautiful place. France. Those are a few of them.
It seems like music has given you a lot of amazing opportunities in your life.
It has. You know, I was just talking. So I did an interview that I don't know when or where it's going to air, but it was like a guy, an old friend of mine that's got this like website. You know, he's talking shop about bass. And
oh wait, what is he taking over my role?
I don't think you have to worry. He's just getting started, and he's more a little bit about like the technical angles. But he brought up the same exact point that did you ever think, you know, playing bass would take you, you know, take you around the world and stuff like that? And I absolutely didn't. You know, I never stopped to think about it until like, you know, like a week ago when I did this guy's interview, and I was like, you know what, man, I never really thought about all the blessings. Like it's like a magic flute, you know, this magic bass brought me to opened so many doors for me. And you know, from the minute I walked, they snuck me into a club at 14 years old with what became White Trash. It was me, my brother, and the singer for White Trash. We were called Blade back then. Metal band Blade. We were doing Motley Crue covers and Judas Priest and Iron Maiden covers. Okay. And we got a gig on Queens Boulevard at the Play Lounge. You know, big news. And my mom would let me go out and play these gigs because I was going with my older brother. So she, you know, said, make sure he fucking gets home and doesn't drink or anything like that. Does his homework. There were times where I was doing like playing. When White Trash was starting to blow up, I was in my senior year of high school, and I was kind of like a nerd. I was still like into school, and I was loving it because I was kind of like a rock star in like senior year of high school, and we were blowing up like a little bit like locally. And I would go do my homework, and the guys would come in the van and be like, "All right, we're going on. Get ready. 10 minutes." So I'd finish my math homework, you know, pack my bag and go backstage and come on stage. And they were like girls topless and you know, drinks and drugs around. And, you know, the Cat Club always stands out to me like that, because it was like a spot in New York that was like had a vibe. And it was you know, it was a not a place for a high school kid. And I was like a kid in the candy store, and I probably grew up a little fast because of that. But it was from those days up until like touring with Murphy's Law, White Trash, and doing all the stuff we're doing with Butterbrain, to be proactive to like doing these shows in Florida next week. It's been a blessing. Music has taken me all over the world and got me to meet some amazing people. I've gotten to work over the past couple of years with some artists, including Angelo from Fishbone, that like were idols of mine growing up that I used to look up to. HR from the Bad Brains, Peter DiStefano from Porno for Pyros. I mean, the list goes on, and you know, it's been a blessing.
How does it feel to work with a lot of these people that you grew up listening to and admiring, and now you're like playing with them?
It's amazing, and it's a little extra special because it's a project that I kind of in creative control of and is close to my heart, and I'm fully invested in. So it's even a little more special because of that. And not to get sentimental, but it's a little more special as I'm getting older. You know, I kind of let go of a lot of these things over the years, and you know, when I was, you know, young, dumb, and full of calm, as they say, I would want to, you know, take control of the stuff. And, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do that. And later in life, the universe is kind of like giving me a lot of blessings. And they're not forced; they're happening naturally. You know, a lot of the things with Angelo were negotiated with Jeffro from Raised Fist. So he's been an advocate for a lot of that, playing the show with HR. So there's been a lot of blessings that the universe has just created, like by staying focused and like staying in my lane, being fully invested in Butterbrain, stopping a lot of outside projects so that I could invest the time. Like I said, a year ago, I had a broken hip and was like ready to be on the shelf for a couple of months. And literally 2 weeks in, when I could walk, as soon as I could walk, I was dragging, you know, myself up the studio steps, you know, on crutches just to get in and start recording this shit. Cause I was like, I didn't want to waste a minute, you know?
I love that so much. We have Scott Weiss of Underground Roots Clothing, all the way from Chicago in the house. What's up, Scott? What's up, Scotty, the closet rapper? I interviewed Scott last Friday, and boy, we had a whole damn party.
I saw a little bit of that.
And the party continued for me until like I think it just started. I think it was a long bender for me. All right, so thank you, Scott, for setting the tone off right for that one. All right, so White Owl, aka Aaron. Hold on, Dawn, I need makeup. Dawn, look, this is Dawn doing my makeup. Dawn, powder my nose. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you. Such a good assistant he is. We got Maddie Pasta in the house. Maddie. Tell me, who is Maddie Pasta?
Maddie Pasta is a great friend and Butterbrain guitar player. That's he's kind of been like our fill-in with Butterbrain, and he's coming out of Florida with us for the Florida shows. And we played in Scarhead together. We played a little bit in Murphy's Law together. He's one of my best friends and partner in crime as well. And he's an amazing guitar player. He's played in, you know, a bunch of bands on the New York punk rock hardcore scene: Sub-Zero, Scarhead, Murphy's Law. I'm probably leaving a few out, but he's everybody in the New York punk rock scene knows Maddie Pasta.
Maddie Pasta, you coming on this show next or what? I'm ready for you. Let me know.
Get him on.
Hell yeah. Aaron, I just love talking to you because you always are so well spoken. You're so honest and truthful. You're so humble. I want to ask you, what is the special secret sauce that one needs to like not get burnt out, I guess, in the music industry? Because I know it's such a hard industry, right? And so somebody as successful as you've been in many amazing groups that have taken you around the world. But maybe somebody that doesn't have that, that's maybe struggling to say, like, you know, struggling, why am I still doing this? What's your answer to that?
Wow. You know, if it's in your heart and it's a passion of yours, you should stay true to your dreams, visions, goals, whatever they are, whether it's music, athlete, you know, CEO of a corporation, whatever it is, you know, you got to stay true to yourself. I've lived an alternative lifestyle for like a long time. You know, there was many times in my life where playing music did not afford me those gifts of traveling or making money. You know, in all honesty, it might appear one way, but most of my life as a musician has been as a struggling musician. You know, I don't have any endorsement deals or no label behind me right now. You know, I lived that high life with major label life with White Trash. Like, you know, when we first got signed, we got spoiled a little bit by a taste of like that. But I kind of knew in my heart that like I didn't need that to do music or to keep doing music. And I appreciate you saying that, because I think it does take a lot of humility and humbleness to get kicked around in this business. And you're going to eat a lot of shit. And if it's important to you, you do what you got to do to stay true to yourself. It should never be about the money, or success or fame. So if you're asking me honestly, what is the ingredient? Don't give a shit about any of that. And when just keep doing what you do, and the universe will bring you what it's intended to bring you.
I believe that wholeheartedly, because I feel like the more that you like stress out about, oh, this person is like me, or this person's commenting this, or they're saying I'm a shitty musician, or like this happened, or whatever. Like, dude, you have to stay true to yourself, because the right people are going to stay. The wrong people, they're coming in all day long. You have people that are wanting to take from you, people that are trying to manipulate you, people that are not trying to reciprocate the love that you're giving, right? And whether that's with music or life or whatever, but fuck those people, man. If they can accept you for who you are, like, bye. Bye. And the more that you stop giving a fuck, the more you can be true to yourself, and the more that you attract the right people.
I couldn't agree more. And doesn't mean that I get it right all the time. Believe me, if you think over my career of whatever it is, 30 years or something like that, that if you think there's been times where I didn't, have it in me, or struggled, or was like, I can't do this, or I don't want to do this anymore, I would be lying to you if I said not. But you're going to have to pick yourself up off the mat a lot, probably in this business. And I honestly, I've thought about it. I look at it even in those major label days, and when there was money involved, and a bit of success involved, if I was living the way I needed to mature a lot at that age, like I said, young, dumb, and full of cum, I was not thinking the same way now. And I might have been dead, because I like to party in excess. I like to live in excess. And there's a lot of people I know along the way that didn't make it in this business, that were talented and that did stick to their visions and dreams, that drugs and alcohol got them too. So there's a lot of it's a tough life. Being a musician is a tough life. I don't know if I would recommend it, but if you feel that it's in your heart and soul, then you got to do what's important to you.
It's true what they say. It's a lot of drugs, sex, and rock and roll when you're a musician, baby. There ain't nothing about money in that statement, okay?
That's a fact.
Let's see. Don McDaniel, my beautiful secretary, says, Aaron, watch her. She sweet talks like this. Next thing you know, you're chained in her basement. It's true.
If it was my drug days, that sounds like it could be a lot of fun. But I'm a little scared of that. I've seen some of your recent posts, so I would be a little nervous to be chained to your basement. Hey. But it does sound slightly appealing.
That's why I love you, because you are you're the real deal. You are the real deal. And then, okay, I also want to talk about what is this association with birds and bass players, because you're not the only bass player who has a nickname of a bird. Okay, so I'm Nighthawk. My friend, damn, I can't even think what his real name is. Jaybird is Jaybird. He's an amazing bass player. His name's Justin Ionelli out of California. And you're White Owl. Are we the trifecta of bass players? Maybe.
I think so. And I got another one for you. One of the songs on the Butterbrain album is called song number 7.
Bird.
And one of the players on the Butterbrain album, he's listed last as a spiritual advisor, is another person. Jay Nicholas is also Jaybird. And
no way.
There's a punk rock album by Token Entry, named after Jaybird.
Oh my god, what a small world.
So I don't know if you know this, but we play. Butterbrain has up to 9 members, and sometimes when we play live, when Jaybird, like for a record release party this coming week, I get on the keys and Jay takes the bass, and I get to play keys and get on the mic a little more, and so we really have like a moving band. Like we sometimes don't know like week to week who's coming or how it's gonna pan out. But I love when Jay plays because he relieves me of I could get behind, get on the keyboard for a few things, get up front, get on the mic. Sometimes it's a little restrictive as like a front man on with a bass. There's only a few people that could do that well.
Wait. Did you say bass?
All about that bass.
Why haven't we talked anything about your bass?
All right. Well, I did. Yeah.
Bring it out, baby. That's what we're really here for. I mean, we love you, but we're really here for the bass.
Well, I only got one in the house today. I couldn't believe it, but we had a rehearsal last week, and we have another one coming up in a couple of days. So I left my other bass in the studio, but this is, I think I showed it to you before, my Tom Anderson. This is the one I've had the longest. Okay. And if you could see the headstock, it's kind of like a copy of a Fender Jazz, okay. But there's no name on it. And it's a custom-made Tom Anderson that was, by coincidence, another mutual bass player buddy had put it on consignment in a music store on 48th Street. Back in the days in Manhattan, there was a one strip on 48th Street where they had like all the music stores in one area. It's since been defunct, but you would get like if you needed to like really find what you're looking for, you would trek into Manhattan and get your ass to 48th Street, because you could go to a bunch of different stores and probably find whatever you need. So it was Rudy's Music, it was called, and they had this baby on consignment. And for some reason, I kind of fell in love with it, playing it. And it turned out a friend of mine or in our music network was like, that was mine. I put it on consignment. So I was like, why don't you take it off? I'll buy it directly off you. I forget exactly how it went down, but this baby's lasted me like 30 plus years.
Wow. Wait, do you have an amp? Are you going to play us something?
All right, let's see.
Hey, rock and roll.
We got going. I'm plugged in through a guitar amp right now. Let's see. Can you hear?
Oh yeah, baby, you good.
It's a little distorted, but
hey! And you too can see more of that, but you got to go to see Butterbrain live and in concert, baby. Listen, White Owl, I want to talk. I know we're going on an hour. I know time is precious. I'm going to let you go here in a minute, but I have a few more questions before we wrap this up.
I got all the time in the world for you, Sunshine.
And I do love that you say that, because I do love the song "All the Time in the World" by John Fulbright, I believe. All the time in the world.
And Butterbrain also has our original album song called "Sunshine."
Oh, and I love that song. It's so well written. And now that you bring that up, I was listening to a lot of Sapiosexual, and I noticed that there's a lot of spoken word on there. So yes. let's talk about it. I want to know, what is the inspiration behind the spoken word? How did you fit that into the album? Because I love it. I think it's well done. It's beautifully, like, it fits, it forms, it's great.
That's it. Well, thank you for saying that, because that was the very last piece to the album. Like I said, we kind of had been like dabbling with writing the songs, and I went in for a surgery. We were talking about going to record at some point a few months later, and I got inspired by Get Back and the Wu-Tang Clan, and the songs were so they were pretty much ready, close to ready, and we said, fuck it, let's go and record. So we recorded 8 songs. Weren't sure how this was going to shape up as like another EP or an album. We put, we pretty much ended up like fit like using all the stuff that we were currently working on, and for me, it's very important to have an album be like I'm kind of old school like that. It's funny, like everybody's putting out singles, everybody's pushing me to like, release one song at a time, and I kind of followed that footprint of what people are doing nowadays. But I'm an old school album junkie, and I believe it doesn't necessarily have to be a concept album like Pink Floyd or the Beatles, but I think the album should tie together. It shouldn't just be a sloppily thrown bunch of songs. Sure. So when every album I make, where I'm in control of, the creative control of it, it's important to me to kind of see that through. So me and Sally kind of like pushed that idea. I was kicking around some of the things I've done in the past, including some of my hip hop stuff, which is where the White Owl name comes from. I put out a couple of albums as White Owl, doing more beat oriented hip hop type stuff, which we never even touched upon here, but I don't even know if you know about that stuff.
Well, I mean, I got all the time in the world.
Well, it's out there like streaming and all that stuff. It's called All or None is the full album, and I think there's an EP out there too. But that album, similar to the Butterbrain stuff, kind of it was important for me to tie everything in together. So it's kind of like a back pocket thing of mine to like, I'm into poetry. I like hearing spoken word. So it was the last piece of the album. I said, let's sapiosexual. We had kind of monkeyed around with the idea of that as the album title. And we kind of said, like, nobody really knows. We're getting a lot of like, what is that? We don't really know what that is. So we kind of used the spoken word to kind of explain it and to elaborate on that idea. And Sally was the perfect voice for that. So she laid it down, then I put a little music behind it. And the other one was just something I had, rolling around in my head, that when the last song in the album was called Circus Life, the poem that I was toying with was Monkey on My Back. And that's it's funny. Me and Maddie Pasta actually recorded the ideas as a song years back, but it never really went anywhere. And I kind of took it and turned it into spoken word thing. So they were the
Maddie
last. Pasta! Those were the last two pieces to help tie the album together.
Very well done. It takes a lot to be able to pull that off, and you did it very eloquently. So, bravo. Bravo.
I appreciate that, because sometimes I get a lot of flack, like from outside people, like, why are you going to put that on the album, or is that really fit? So you know what? It's kind of taking a little chance for me, because you're out there solo, and Sally too. Doing a spoken word shit could kind of get like you're out there on an island a little bit, and even the band gives me flack sometimes. We did a spoken word thing on the one of the prior, but the first Butterbrain album, that sometimes I'll just pop it out spontaneously live, and they're like, "Ah, man, he's doing that shit again." But if I feel it, I feel like doing it.
I think that, yeah, I mean, exactly. It takes. Not everybody can do it. Not everybody has enough confidence to do it. And yeah, I was impressed when I heard that. And it also threw me for a loop, because I'm like, wait, what's going on? And I was all, damn, this is deep.
There's a lot of depth to Butterbrain. There really is. Like, we're pretty genreless. Like, I get asked a lot, like, what are you? And like, I don't know, punk, funk, ska, rock. And that's another thing that in shopping to a label, we got a nice rejection early on from like, I don't know if I should be allowed to mention the label or not. It was Fat Records. So we got a nice rejection from them, and they were like, yeah, it's cool, but it's kind of like not exactly what we do. Like, we do kind of like straight up ska, like punk or ska. And like, I've gotten that a lot in my lifetime. And again, sometimes even from the band members, like we should do more of like one genre, or and I don't write like that. I can't write like that, and I'll go on a limb to say I never will write like that, because it comes out how it enters my brain and how it translates, and then you put it with the band and mix stuff. So the songs I write, I don't really like to pigeonhole it into a category. So to me, I'm inspired and influenced by bands like Fishbone, or some of the bands we brought up today, or the Beatles. I like genreless music. So the Beatles could inspire you to kill your neighbor, or to kiss your neighbor's baby, depending on which song it is, and that to me is music.
Or to what, woo 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 the walrus, or what are they doing with the walrus over
there? They lost me on that one.
Wait, I gotta look up the damn lyrics for it, because I'm telling you. Wait, what is it?
Cuckoo Kajou.
I knew you knew. The walrus, bro. They were.
I mean, sometimes you just got to cuckoo kajou shit,
I'm going to put that on a shirt and sell it in my Etsy shop. So in case anybody's interested, go.
I'm in. I'll buy one of those.
I'll just send you one. All right, for the idea. All right, cool. Let's see. Gloria says you are a creative soul. You can't be pigeonholed yourself. You have many faucets. Oh, beautifully said, Gloria.
Thank you. That's my main squeeze. So she's being
that's your boo lady.
Yes, and she's being extra kind, but that means a lot coming from her, because we dated 25 years ago. I was incapable of being a good relationship partner. We're back together today, and she does know me inside and out, and she's always had my back creatively.
Oh, this is a beautiful love story. I'm here for it. I am here for it. We'll have Gloria on the show next and get the other side. The TMZ, the other side of the story.
It's not always pretty.
All right, next question by Daniel. How do you feel about the new hardcore punk rock bands coming up right now? Do you have any advice for those aspiring groups that catch your attention?
Shit. I'd be lying if I played in the punk scene for a long time, but I'd be lying if I said I was really up on it like that. The group I keep hearing is Turnstile is making some big noise. That's a group we played with. Like, they were like an opening act on a lot of shows, and we did some festival type stuff together. And even back then they really had their shit together, and they had a vision. But I really haven't gone down that rabbit hole. I'm so consumed. Like, this might sound egotistical, and I don't mean it in that way, but I'm so consumed like with what I'm doing these days that I really rarely have put on like another like gotten away and listened to music in a while. It's kind of a shame. But I'll shout out a couple of the bands that we're playing with down in Florida. Fuacata, a Miami punk ska group that is going to be doing both shows with us down there. That's an amazing ska punk band, a young Latin-based ska funk punk, right up our alley, and a lot of energy, good vibes. The Big Scandal is another group we're playing with out there. Ska, like another big unit, like 8 or 9 guys. Party, a little more ska oriented, but party punk, good songwriting. Hias de la Muertes, we're playing with a lot of Latin groups out there, Latin punk hardcore groups. So this is what I like. Because we're playing with them, I've been like listening to a lot of their music. They're a 3-piece all-girl Latin band.
You had me at all girl.
Yep. Check them out. Hias de la Muertes.
Ladies of the Dead, or Daughters of the Dead.
Yes. I was kind of curious. I just thought it was like women of the dead, but is that what it is? Daughters of the Dead?
Would you say Mijas or he?
Hias, like Hijas.
Mijas is daughter. Hias, I'm not really sure. As a Mexican, I should say that. Mijas de la Muerte. I don't know. I know Mijas would be daughter, but Hijas is maybe hers of the dead. She's of the dead. I don't know. Anybody at home, daughters of the dead. Thank you, Gloria, for.
Thank you, Gloria.
Thank you, Gloria.
She's got my back all the time.
I appreciate that so much.
They're more straight. I was gonna just say they're more straight ahead punk rock, like metal punk. They're a little different than the other two groups I just mentioned. And then we got another group we're playing with, Billy Doom is Dead, out there. And one of the gifts of being kind of genreless is that we could play with a bunch of different groups and kind of fit in and on most bills. So I'm really excited about the upcoming shows, about our record release here in New York at Bowery Electric next week, and then the shows in Florida.
I am excited for how excited you are. And not only that, I'm Googling over here because I'm like, how is he has means daughter? Because I know me has means daughter. I'm over here like Googling this. Oh my gosh, Aaron, I am so stoked for you to go play Florida. I have interviewed so many musicians over just the past year that come out of Florida. So many up and coming musicians, there's just so much personality out of there.
They have a real cool scene going on over there. So I'm real excited to go down there and make some noise down there and mix it up with these younger, energetic, like fun bands, like doing similar stuff that we're doing. It's kind of cool because we got a little bit more of like a New York flavor, I guess, and so it's a little different, but it's going to mix up well. And I got to shout out my homies too, who's a liaison to making a lot of this stuff happen, is the Capturers. I also play percussion on the side with a reggae group called the Capturers here in New York, and a couple of them came from the Miami scene. That's my connection to the big scandal in Fwacata. The bass player just moved up to New York, Ryan, and he moved up to be full-time with the Capturers, but he comes from he played with both those bands, or one of those bands, and the Capturers making some noise up here too. It's more of a straight-up reggae vibe with some people from the punk rock scene. Jules is an amazing singer from Babe Patrol, and a couple of the members are from a band that we played with. We're actually doing, we gigged with them out in Jersey. We're doing another show with them on 420 here in New York. The Hub City Stompers, another great, legendary Jersey ska band.
Sally Mae in the building. Sally. We are a huge fan of Sally here on the Sunshine Show.
That's what's up.
All right, guys, we are going to start wrapping this up. We have been going long and strong. That's what she said. Not all the time, though.
Yeah, you beat me to it.
We have been going long and strong here for about an hour and some change. So if you guys have any last-minute questions for the one and only White Owl of Butterbrain, please drop them there in the comments, and I will get to them. But if we don't have any more questions, we're going to start getting the fuck out of here. I do have one last question for you, though. Yes. Well, and then we have Daniel's question, because he did get into the allotted time before I had to cut off. So actually, let's take Daniel's question, and then we will take mine. Right. How'd you get into playing the drums?
The drums? Well, I don't know. Did my drum set sneak into there?
Wait, no, you said you played drums with the reggae group.
Oh.
We're just all psychic here, okay?
I was like, damn. Well, percussion, not drums. I play. So, very good question. It's kind of a funny story. Felipe from the Capturers, who kind of spearheads that group, asked me. He actually called me up to see if I want to play bass, and I told him, man, I'm right in the middle of recording Butterbrain. I got a lot on my plate. I don't know. Send me the tunes. He got the vibe that I wasn't really down. I got to the songs 3 or 4 days later. He had emailed them to me. I missed them, and I listened. I was like, oh, this shit sounds great. So I called him back, and I was like, you know what? I'm really digging it. He was like, well, I already got somebody on bass. He's like, do you play percussion? And I was like, Well, I've played percussion at parties and like been told I'm like kind of a natural and shit, but you know, I don't really. I've never played in a band. He's like, well, we have a rehearsal tomorrow. We don't have a percussion player. You want to come down and play percussion? You know, even if it doesn't work, we need a guy tomorrow. I said, fuck it, I'll come down. Halfway into the rehearsal, like, you're our percussion player. I was like, all right, done deal.
Nice. Hell yeah, dude. Those are the kind of gigs I like. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
It's a very fun and easy gig for me. Butterbrain takes a lot of my energy and is my own baby. In the captures, Felipe is the one that's kind of like spearheading it, and Jules. So I'm like kind of like just come in, play some bongos, smile and have fun. It's a fun fucking gig for me.
Oh, I love that. All right, let's see. Next question from Mr. Jeffro. Oh my gosh, he's still in the chat. Wow.
Jeffro!
Wow, raise fist propaganda.
We held his attention because he's usually not. He usually would have ducked out by now, probably.
Oh, for sure. For sure. No, you know we love you, Jeffy. He says, are you DJing with me and Angelo at Beauty Bar?
Well, I'm very new to the vinyl game, but fuck yeah, count me in, man. I'll step up my my DJs because I would love to. Maybe give me like a short, half hour. I won't step on you guys' toes, but I would love to. Yeah.
Very nice. And I want to know, who is this on your arm here?
Oh, that's my uncle, Uncle Dickie.
Tell me about Uncle Dickie.
Well, Uncle Dickie was a big musical inspiration to me. He had his battles with addiction issues, drugs and alcohol, and he ended up unfortunately committing suicide at the age of 60. Oh. He was the original black sheep of the family, and he passed that torch on to me. And he used to live with the road manager for Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, and the Blues Brothers, and a couple other like big acts. So he brought me to my first concert, Bruce Springsteen, at age 9. He brought my brother at like when I was like 8 or something, and my brother was 5 years old. So my mom let him go. He was 13. She wouldn't let me go, and he came back with an autograph of like Rick Serrano, the catcher from the Yankees, Penny Marshall, like Laverne and Shirley. My mom. Look at me. I met Laverne from Laverne and Shirley. I met fucking New York Yankees. And I was like, fuck. So I made such a big stink about it that my mom said, all right, you can go to the next one. But my mother went with me, and she's actually going to be out. She says she's coming to the show in Florida, the West Palm Bar. I just spit all over my computer screen. But
hey, everybody at home, and let's all spit together.
That's Uncle Dickie.
Hey, rest in peace, Uncle Dickie. Will you be dedicating an album in the future soon, or have you already done so?
Wow, that's fucking pretty heavy. One of the songs he kind of already done, so it was kind of like a tribute to him and my brother. It was inspired by the death of both. They both passed a couple of years apart. And two of my biggest male figures like growing up, musical inspirations. And so the song Chasing Ghosts on the Butterbrain EP is dedicated to them. The song in the video, you could stream it. It's from the Butterbrain, the EP, and it was remade into a rap version by the rapper Slain. And he did a version of Chasing Ghosts, kind of took the hook and turned it into a rap. So he honored them by doing that as well.
Oh, beautiful. Everybody. I hope. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I would like to make one plug.
Do whatever you would like.
We have, please follow us at Butterbrain NYC Instagram on IG. And we also have a new Bandcamp page. It's Butterbrain1, the number 1, Butterbrain1.bandcamp.com, where we kind of set that up as a one-stop shop for a whole musical catalog, physical CDs, digital downloads, and most importantly, our T-shirts. Most of them designed by Sally. We have the Raised Fist design, and so all our music and merch can now be found on our Bandcamp page, butterbrain1.bandcamp.com.
Boom! You heard it here first, folks, on the Sunshine Show with the one and only White Owl of Butterbrain, former bassist for Murphy's Law. That's right, folks. You heard it here first. This is a legend here on the screen, taking time out of his day to hang out with us. Are you blessed? Yes, you are. Every day you wake up in the morning, baby, you are blessed.
Sunshine. That's who I am.
I am so stoked. You made my Sunday. You completed my weekend, and please come back on again, and please continue to come back on. Please continue to do you, inspiring the tons, the thousands of hundreds of thousands of people out there that are looking at you for inspiration. And hey, no pressure, okay?
Anytime, Sunshine. It's an absolute blessing, and I'm grateful and privileged to share time with you. I love kicking it with you. You got a beautiful soul, and I love what you're all about. I love your show. I'm starting to watch some of the back ones with Billy Sheehan and Cooley Ranks, and you thank you for doing what you do and giving artists like me and Butterbrain a place to share what we do.
You're home. Mi casa es su casa.
Back at you, babe.
All right, baby. On three, we're good. Oh, actually, I was about to wrap this up without concluding with my conclusion. Dawn, can you please let me know who's coming up next, or do you know? You may not. Tomorrow, Dylan Garcia. All right, guys, make sure to hop on over. Same bat time, same bat channel. Amazing singer-songwriter Dylan Garcia out of Califas will be joining us tomorrow night. Until then, guys, make sure to go follow Butterbrain, White Owl, Sally Mae, the whole shebang bang, Maddie Pasta. They're all putting their hearts and souls into this music. And you don't have to do a damn thing if you don't want to. You don't want to buy the album, fine. But go follow them on Spotify. Go follow them on Instagram. Go follow them on the socials. It's a free way that you can support these artists that are putting their hearts and souls out there for your entertainment. All right, I said it and I'll stop. Until next time, guys, make sure to be kind to the people around you. You never know the battles people are facing. Try to keep a smile on your face and stay safe out there. It's a dangerous fucking world. And buy the Butterbrain EP up. Sapiosexual. Hey. All right, on three, let's say bye. You ready?
Bye-bye, guys. Thank you so much.
I said on three. Uno, dos, tres.
Bye.